Hey everyone, I think that I am done buying Willow books. And so let's take a quick look at where I ended up. This is the first Willow book that I bought. This is the novelization of the movie. It's in hardcover because it's the science fiction book club edition. I read the novelization just a few years ago after watching the movie for the first time in preparation for reading this trilogy, which was in preparation for reading Supernatural Encounters. This trilogy being the Chronicles of the Shadow War trilogy, Shadow Moon, Shadow Dawn, and Shadow Star. Shadow Star, both in mass market paperback and in hardcover, commanding a higher price, potentially because of a lower print run. That's what would make sense to me. As some have pointed out before, what I find really cool here is George Lucas's name here as a writing credit and story by, to the extent that he gives his blessing to things. And there are some very interesting ideas in this trilogy given a blessing by George Lucas, at least within the context of the Willow universe. Stuff having to do with the multiverse, basically. And I really love this trilogy. I had a great time reading it. I've heard criticisms that it's not objectively a good piece of EU as a sequel to the Willow movie, and that seems objectively true to me. But I don't have nostalgia for the movie the way other people do, and taking, that looks like a piece of the dragon, horse dragon, taking the trilogy on its own terms, I thought it was excellent. And again, take this with a big grain of salt because I have not read a lot of adult fantasy, high fantasy, so I don't really know how to gauge it. I thought it was beautifully written, pretty dense, slow sometimes, but with some really excellent fantasy set pieces. Each book has one or two extremely big moments, and they are, I want to say, a sight to behold. But you get my point. This is Elora Danan, I'm fairly sure. And this is Corey Bainfin, who is a complete badass. And so, as usually happens when I get excited about something, it just takes one piece of media within a franchise for me to love it and then just consume all of the lesser things. So because of my love for the Chronicles of the Shadow War trilogy, I needed to have a paperback of the Willow novelization to go with my mass market paperback set. As a little aside, I think that it's very cool that it fits on the shelf with E.T. That's not where it is currently. I have a sort of canonical arrangement with Supernatural Encounters and some other Star Wars books. But I did go ahead and buy, as some of you have seen in some of my older videos, Chronicles of the Shadow War trilogy in hardcover, and good luck finding an affordable lot. But for me, it was worth having them in hardcover. For some enraging reason, Shadow Star is like a half an inch taller. I don't know what they were on about when they did that. And so recently I picked up a couple of new things here. I went and I picked up the Willow picture storybook, obviously no new material, but new illustrations, right? So it's an adaptation. And this format, I don't have any storybooks, picture storybooks for any other franchises, but this is kind of a common size and format. And so this would fit on the shelf next to your Star Wars equivalent or other franchise. I found a good deal on the Willow storybook. These, I'm sure most people are familiar with. This format, it just takes pictures from the movie. Nothing super amazing, but what's cool about this is it will fit the format of your other picture storybooks or storybooks. This is a paperback, so it's a little shorter, but you get the idea. And here's an interesting find. and I need to do some more research about these. I found these listed, and I had to buy them off eBay from Australia, and I thought maybe they were the only ones listed. But actually, it turns out these are printed in Melbourne. And again, I got to do some more research. I don't know if they were only printed there, because these match the size and format of these books from the EU. But these are printed by Random House. These are Storytime Book budget books. And I don't know if there's more to the set. These are not original. These are adaptations of parts of the movie. As I was reading the books, I thought I should probably have the comic book adaptation. And I was looking online, and I could only find, in terms of collected edition, this. You've probably seen this format with Star Wars. This sort of book collection, printed in black and white, Star Wars 2. Not an amazing format, and I thought that that was the only collected edition available. I just bought this. I bought the floppies a while ago. Let's reorder this. And it's okay, and there's really no original material, but I wanted that as a part of the Willow collection. But then, I just finally found some listings. I don't know why they weren't up. Maybe they were selling, and maybe the Willow franchise is worth less on eBay now that Disney has nuked it. There is a collected trade paperback of the Marvel Comics adaptation with glossy pages and in full color. And there it is. The other huge significant piece of Willow EU that I have an unofficial copy of is the Willow source book, which I made myself. I just dumped the files into Lulu. I showed this to a friend who's really good at formatting stuff, and I showed them the cover, and I believe what he said was, "I'm dying." But I get the lore, and there's actually some really good lore in this one, because it serves as a character prequel, or a prequel for a lot of the characters. Not the world, but you see a lot of stuff with Bab Morta. And finally, for my collection, probably the most important part is the Jello Presents Willow activity book. And this one is a banger. Tons of original, obscure material and just dense passages. I'm joking. But this page is cool. Here we have like some character bios. So I picked it up. There are other Willow things out there, but I think my collection is at an end. Thanks for watching.